So your feet are tingling again at night. Your hands go numb for no clear reasons. There's a burning, there's an electric feeling that travels through your legs. And when you ask your doctor about it, you are told it might just be aging. So, but what if I told you that aging is not the real story? What if there is something you are consuming like every single day that is quietly feeding nerve damage from inside out? Something so ordinary that most people never questioned it. Something that is slowly eroding the very nerves that allow you to feel, to move, to balance, and to stay independent. That is what we are talking about today. And I need you to stay with me because once nerve damage crosses a certain line, it becomes very difficult to walk back. But if you catch it early and if you understand what is actually driving it, then there is hope. I am Dr. Emmanuel Bale, and for years I have been working with people just like you who are dealing with tingling, numbness, burning feet, loss of balance, and a diagnosis called neuropathy. Something they are often told they simply have to live with. I want to challenge that narrative today, not with hype, not with false promises, but with clarity, because clarity is what actually changes the outcome. And before we go further, drop a comment below and tell me where you are watching from. And have you experienced any tingling, numbness, or burning in your hands or feet? Are you diabetic, pre-diabetic, or have you been told your blood sugar is just a little elevated? Write it below because I read every single comment and your answer matters. Let me tell you about a man I call Franklin. Franklin was a 69-year-old, recently retired, still working every morning, still very sharp, but at night his feet burned, his toes felt numb. Some morning he woke up and his hands feel very strange, almost like they had fallen asleep but never fully came back. Had been to multiple doctors, he had been told it was probably circulation, probably aging, probably nothing to worry too much about. But when we sat together and looked at the full picture, his diet, his daily habits, his routine, we found something, a pattern, a quiet, consistent exposure that was slowly poisoning his nerves without him ever realizing it. When we removed it, the damage did not reverse overnight, but it stopped getting worse. And for Franklin, that was everything. So, what was the poison and how does it work? To understand this, you have to first understand what nerves actually are. Nerves are not wires, they are living, breathing tissue. They require oxygen, proper nutrients, and a stable internal environment to function. Unlike your skin, which regenerates quickly, nerves heal very slowly. That means damage can accumulate quietly for years, long before you ever feel a single symptom. But by the time the tingling starts, the damage has usually already been building in the background for quite some time. That is the dangerous part. Neuropathy doesn't just appear suddenly, it develops in silence. Here is what most people are never told. The most destructive poison to your nerves is not alcohol, it's not industrial chemicals, it's not even a medication. Although sometimes medication plays a role, and we'll get to that. The most damaging thing to your nerves is something you are likely consuming at breakfast, at lunch, and dinner. It's something doctors sometimes call chronic blood sugar toxicity. You do not need to be diabetic for blood sugar to damage your nerves. You only need repeated spikes, frequent uncontrolled surges of blood sugar happening day after day, meals after meal, and millions of people, particularly in the senior population, are experiencing exactly that without knowing it. And here is how it works. When blood sugar rises too high, sugar molecules begin attaching themselves to the nerve fibers, to the tiny blood vessels that feed those nerves. This creates inflammation, it creates something called oxidative stress. And sometimes, and over time, it damages the protective coating around your nerves. And that coating is called myelin, which is what allows the nerves to send clean, accurate signals through your body. When that coating breaks down, the signal starts to misfire. That is where the tingling comes from. This is where the burning starts, and that is where the numbness sets in. And eventually, if the process is not interrupted, balance goes, coordination goes, independence becomes threatened. Here is a question I want you to sit with for a moment. Have you ever been told your blood sugar is a little high, but not high enough to be diabetic? Have you ever been told that you are borderline or pre-diabetic? That space is a gray zone. It's actually where a significant amount of nerve damage begins. Research now shows that pre-diabetes causes nerve damage nearly as often as full diabetes. The difference is that most people in that gray zone do not know it, and they are certainly not being warned about their nerves. So where does this blood sugar toxicity comes from in everyday life? The first major source is liquid sugar, fruit juice, sweetened coffee, sports drinks, and blended smoothies. Liquid sugar enters your bloodstream extremely fast because there is no fiber to slow it down. That creates a sharp, aggressive spike that hits nerve tissue directly. And seniors are often told that juice is easy nutrition, that it is gentle and natural. But for your nerves, liquid sugar, regardless of how natural it is one of the fastest routes to damage. The second source is refined carbohydrate eaten alone. Bread, cereal, crackers, white rice, when eaten without any protein or healthy fat alongside them, they break down into sugar rapidly. The blood sugar rises quickly, insulin surges, and the nerves, particularly the long nerves in your feet, your legs, in your feet and hands, are exposed again and again to that chemical stress. Many seniors are advised to eat soft, easy to digest food, but easy to digest food often means rapid sugar release, and that is a problem most people are not warned about. The third source is constant snacking throughout the day. When you are eating every hour or two, insulin is perpetually elevated. Your nerves never gets a recovery window. They are in a constant state of chemical stress. Nerve needs stability, consistency. When the internal environment is chaotic, nerves suffer for it. Now, I want to pause here and talk about something that most people never connect. Some medications that seniors take faithfully every day, can quietly worsen nerve damage by depleting key nutrients, particularly B vitamins, some acid blocking medications, some diabetic drugs, and some cholesterol lowering medications can reduce B12 levels in the body over time. B12 is absolutely essential for maintaining that protective myelin coating around your nerves. When B12 drops, nerve becomes fragile, they misfire, they send incorrect signals, and these symptoms look exactly like neuropathy because, in a sense, they are. I had a patient I'll call Sandra dealing with numb feet for years. Every doctor she saw blamed age. When we finally tested her nutrient level properly, her B12 was severely low, not because of her diet, because of a medication she has been taking faithfully for nearly a decade. Once we corrected that deficiency under proper medical guidance, her nerve damage stopped progressing, not reversed, stopped. And for Sandra, that meant sleeping through the night again. That meant walking to her neighbors without fear, and that was a turning point. Neuropathy is almost never caused by one thing alone. It is usually a combination: blood sugar toxicity, chronic inflammations, nutrient depletion, and poor circulation working together. But blood sugar toxicity is the accelerant. It is the gasoline on the fire. So what do we do about it? The first and the most important step is stabilizing blood sugar. Not chasing perfect number, not extreme restriction, just consistency. Every sharp spike is a small chemical injury to the nerve tissue. Fewer spikes means less damage accumulating. That alone, simply smoothing out the blood sugar. Fewer spikes means less damaging accumulating. That alone, simply smoothing out the blood sugar curve, can slow or halt the progression in ways that surprise people. And here is the single most important dietary rule I teach for nerve protection. It's the one that most people have genuinely never heard. Never eat carbohydrate alone. Not fruit, not bread, not crackers, not cereal. When carbohydrate hits the bloodstream without protein or healthy fat alongside them, it converts to sugar almost immediately. But when you pair those same carbohydrates with a protein or a fat source, absorption slows dramatically. The blood sugar curves become gentler, And that gentler curve means far less nerve damage over time. One rule alone explains why while some people develop severe neuropathy and others with very similar diet do not. It is not always about what you eat, it is how you eat it. I had a patient I'll call him Jerome, who was 74-year-old. He came to me with unsteady legs and bony feet. He believed he was eating cleanly. Every morning without fail, he started his day with a fruit smoothie, banana, mango juice, some yogurt. He thought it was healthy, but that liquid sugar was hitting his bloodstream before his body had a nutritional buffer in place. We removed the smoothie, we replaced it with eggs and vegetables in the morning, and moved a small amount of fruit to after lunch, eating as part of a meal, not as a standalone snacks. And within few weeks, his burning decreases, his balance improved. He told me he felt more confident on his feet than he had in years. Nothing dramatic happened. We simply stopped poisoning his nerves. The second step is eliminating liquid sugar entirely. No juice, no sweetened drinks, no smoothie, no matter how natural the ingredients are. If you eat fruits, eat it whole in small portion and always after a meal. Fruit after a meal is dramatically safer for nerve than fruit on an empty stomach. The third step is nutrient protection. Beyond B12, your nerves depend on magnesium for proper signaling and reduce cramping and twitching. Folate works alongside B12 to protect nerve structure. Alpha lipoic acid, a naturally occurring antioxidant, has shown real promise in reducing oxidative stress in nerve tissue and easing some neuropathic symptoms. These nutrients do not cure nerve damage, but they support, stabilize, and protect what is still functioning. One important caution here is this: more is not always better. Some vitamins, particularly B6, in high doses can actually worsen nerve damage when taken incorrectly. Please do not guess with supplements, especially if you're on medications. Work with your healthcare provider to test your levels properly and supplement with guidance. Then the fourth step is reducing chronic inflammation. Inflammation amplifies pain signals. It takes mild nerve irritation and turns it into severe burning and stabbing sensation. Processed foods, refined seed oils, and excess sugar all fuel that inflammatory fire. Fatty fish, olive oil, leafy, leafy vegetables, and spices like turmeric help calm it down. So quieter inflammation means quieter nerves. Then the fifth step is gentle, consistent movement, particularly after meals. 10-minute walk after eating helps to lower blood sugar naturally and improve blood flow to nerve tissues. You do not need intensity, you need circulation. Movement is medicine when it is done correctly and consistently. Here is what I want you to take away from everything we've covered today. Neuropathy is not always reversible. That is the honest truth. But it is often stoppable, and stopping it matters just as much as reversing it. Because what we are protecting is not just comfort. We are protecting independence with the ability to feel the ground under your feet, to walk without fear, to trust your body. So tingling and mind numbness are not verdicts. They are warning signs, and they are your body signaling that something needs to change. And that signal is worth listening to. So here is your simple action plan for the next 2 to 4 weeks. Remove liquid sugar completely. Pair every carbohydrate with protein or healthy fat. Eat fruit only after meals, never on an empty stomach. Walk for 10 minutes after eating when you can. Ask your doctor to check your vitamin B12 levels and be aware without making changes on your own some of the medications that may be quietly depleting your nutrients. Small consistent changes, that is where the real progress lives. And before you go, comment below with your age and where you are watching from. Tell me, are you experiencing any of these symptoms? Have you tried pairing your carbohydrate with protein? Have you had your vitamin B12 checked? I want to hear from you. And if this helped you today, please share it with someone who is suffering and has been told nothing can be done, because that relief, more than anything else, is what allows the damage to continue. I am Dr. Emmanuel Bale. Stay consistent, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because it really helps the channel grow.